Here we are, back out on the air seeder again. I've got a night shift tonight. You can see the air seeder back behind me doing its thing. I'd like to talk a little bit about some ancient history. I used to hate history at school, but this is really cool. I was talking to one of our church members recently who shall remain nameless, but let's just call him Peter. And Peter and I were discussing King Cyrus of the Persian Empire. And this is really cool, but King Cyrus became king of Persia in 559 BC. Now Persia's where modern day Iran is. Iran was Persia until about 1930, and so that's where all this takes place. Now Cyrus was a great leader. He really expanded the Persian Empire and took over a lot of peoples, conquered a lot of lands. Around the same time, the connection with Israel was that Israel had been raided by the Babylonians and been taken into captivity in Babylon, and they'd been there for quite a number of years. Now in 539 BC, Cyrus conquered the Babylonians himself, took over Babylon and sort of inherited the Jewish people there. In 538 BC, he issued an order to allow the Jewish people to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. Now, Cyrus is a big player in Jewish history. He's mentioned some 23 times in the Bible, and he's actually the only foreigner outside Jew that becomes known as an anointed one. So he's a big player. Now, some of the writings about Cyrus in the Bible happen in Isaiah, and in Isaiah chapter 44 verse 28 to Isaiah chapter 45 verses about 13 or 14, right through there, Isaiah talks about Cyrus. The really cool thing is that Isaiah wrote this in around about 700 BC, some 160 years before these events took place. And Isaiah called Cyrus by name in a couple of places. He says, I will raise up a king who doesn't know me, but I'll use him, and he will order the rebuilding of the temple. Remarkable prophecies. Secular historians don't really know what to do with it, say that that couldn't have happened, but well, it's proven that that's what did happen. God is in charge of history. And the Jewish leaders in 538 BC even go to Cyrus and say, hey, our prophet Isaiah spoke about you and said you were going to let us go and rebuild our temple. And Cyrus said, oh, okay, well, so I did. So it says that, so you better go. So remarkable prophecy. Now, the thing is, we serve a mighty God, a God who is in charge of history, a God who's not fazed by the problems of the Jewish people at that time, that God uses pagan people, pagan kings to suit his own purposes. So it gives me great comfort that this mighty God, this sovereign God of ours, who is in control of so much, in control of everything, that this God is my Lord, my Saviour, my King, my ruler. The problems I have never take him by surprise. We can rest assured that nothing's too big that he can't handle, that is just beyond him, and it gives me great comfort that God is mighty. God is well able to deal with anything I have going on in my life. He is well able to lead me in his ways, well able to deal with me in such a way that I can serve his purposes. And I give thanks for that, and I think it's just a wonderful testimony to God's power and might, and we serve him. Read all about it in Isaiah chapter 45. Fascinating. See you next time.